Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too. Today we are tackling a topic that is relevant to absolutely everybody.
Absolutely.
Financial literacy.
Yeah.
Now I know what you might be thinking.
Uh-huh.
Spreadsheets.
Right?
Budgeting.
Yeah.
Maybe even taxes. Total snooze fest.
Yeah.
But trust me, this is about way more than just crunching numbers or being good at math.
Right.
It's about understanding the tools and the strategies that can empower you to make smart choices with your money.
Yes.
To build a solid financial future for yourself.
I completely agree. I think it's about taking control of your financial well-being.
Yes.
And not feeling like you're constantly at the mercy of your bank account.
Exactly.
Or like you're just kind of like right-knuckling it every month.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. Exactly.
So our guide for this deep dive is a book called Financial Literacy, What They Do Not Teach You at School.
Great book.
It's by Michael L. Fella.
Yeah.
And it's packed with insights that can really change the way you think about money.
I think one of the most fascinating things that the book starts out with is emphasizing this difference between wealth and income.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a distinction that I think is so crucial but often overlooked.
Yeah.
You can have a high income and still not be wealthy.
Right.
If you're not managing your money effectively.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started earning a decent salary, I thought I was set.
Right.
But I quickly realized that just having money coming in wasn't enough.
It's not enough.
It was what I did with that money that really mattered.
Exactly. Wealth is built over time through smart financial decisions, investments, and assets that grow.
So it's about playing the long game, not chasing those get-rich-quick schemes that we see all over the internet.
Absolutely. And speaking of the bigger picture, the book also breaks down the basic functions of money in a way that I found really insightful.
Okay.
So obviously it's a medium of exchange. It's how we use it to buy goods and services.
The most obvious one, yeah.
Yeah, the most obvious one. But there's more to it.
Right. What else?
Money's also a unit of account, meaning it provides a common measure of value for goods and services.
Yeah.
It allows us to compare prices and make informed decisions about how we spend our money.
That makes sense. So it's like having a universal language for value.
Exactly. And finally, money acts as a store of value. This means that it can be saved and used to purchase goods and services in the future.
Okay, so money is how we buy things, how we measure value, and how we save for the future.
Exactly.
Got it.
Yeah.
But the book also touches on how much money itself has evolved over time, right?
It does. And it's fascinating to think about how we've gone from bartering goods and services to using precious metals like gold and silver as currency.
Yeah.
And now we have digital currencies and even cryptocurrencies.
Oh my gosh, imagine trying to barter your way to a new car these days.
I know.
I'll trade you this cow and a basket of potatoes for that Tesla.
Right.
It's mind-blowing how far we've come.
It really is. And it just highlights the book's point about the constantly changing financial landscape.
Yeah.
What worked for our parents or grandparents might not work for us today.
So we need to be adaptable and informed to navigate this ever-evolving world of money. But where do we even begin?
Well, I think the book dives really deep into the world of budgeting.
Okay.
Which is often seen as the cornerstone of sound financial management.
Okay, budgeting. I have to admit that word used to make me cringe. It just felt so restrictive and boring.
Yeah.
But the book actually presents budgeting in a way that's surprisingly empowering.
I agree. I think it frames budgeting as a tool for achieving your financial goals rather than a punishment.
It's like setting yourself up for success, not depriving yourself.
Exactly.
And it doesn't advocate for a one-size-fits-all approach either.
No.
The book lays out different budgeting methods, each catering to different personalities and needs.
Absolutely. It's about finding a method that works for you.
So let's break down some of these budgeting approaches. One that's really popular these days is zero-based budgeting.
Right. With zero-based budgeting, you give every dollar a job.
Oh, okay.
You start from scratch each month.
Okay.
And allocate every single dollar of your income to specific categories. Needs, wants, savings, debt repayment.
So there's no room for mystery spending.
Exactly.
It forces you to be mindful and intentional about where your money is going.
Right. It's a great way to gain control of your spending and identify areas where you might be overspending without even realizing it.
Then there's the envelope system, which is a classic budgeting method.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother using this.
Yep.
The idea is that you divide your cash into different envelopes, each labeled with a specific spending category.
Right.
Groceries, entertainment, transportation. So it's a very visual and tangible way to track your spending.
Yes.
Once the money in the envelope is gone, that's it for that category until the next month.
Exactly. And what's interesting is while it might seem a bit old school, you can totally adapt it for the digital age.
Ah, how so?
You can use budgeting apps.
Oh.
Or online banking tools.
That makes sense.
To kind of create those virtual envelopes.
I like that.
Yeah.
The third budgeting method the book highlights is priority-based budgeting, which I find particularly appealing.
Me too.
It's all about aligning your spending with your values.
Yes.
So instead of starting with arbitrary categories, you identify what matters most to you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's financial security, travel experiences, supporting your family.
It could be anything.
And you build your budget around those priorities.
Right.
Rather than trying to squeeze your priorities into a predetermined budget.
I love that it's a much more personalized and flexible approach.
Okay. I'm loving these different budgeting approaches.
Me too.
It's all about finding what works for you and your unique circumstances.
And once you have a handle on budgeting, you can really start to focus on building a solid foundation for your financial future.
Which brings us to the all-important topic of savings.
Yes.
The book makes a compelling case for why saving is crucial, even if it's just small amounts at first.
And it's not just about discipline.
Okay.
It's about leveraging the power of compound interest.
Okay, compound interest. This is where things start to get really exciting.
Yes.
It's like this magical force that can make your money grow exponentially over time.
I love that description. Imagine two people both investing $100 a month.
Okay.
One starts at 25, the other at 35.
Okay, big difference.
By retirement, that early bird could have hundreds of thousands of dollars more just from the magic of compound interest.
Wow, that's incredible.
Isn't it?
So even if you're not able to save a lot right now, the key is to start early and let compound interest do its thing.
Absolutely. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow into a mighty tree.
I like that. Okay, we've covered budgeting and savings now. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Debt.
It's something that a lot of people struggle with, and the book doesn't shy away from this topic.
No, it doesn't. It's important to address it head on.
Right.
Because it can have a significant impact on your overall financial well-being.
Right.
And the book breaks down the different types of debt, from consumer debt like credit cards and personal loans to secured debt like mortgages and auto loans.
Right. And it explains how interest rates and credit scores play a huge role in managing debt effectively.
Huge.
This raises an important question for you listening. What does your debt situation look like?
Yeah. Are you using credit wisely?
Are you aware of how interest rates can work for or against you?
These are key questions.
And while we're on the topic of credit, the book does a fantastic job of explaining how credit actually works.
Yes.
It emphasizes why building good credit is crucial and offers some really actionable advice on managing credit utilization and its impact on those all-important credit scores.
Right. It's all about taking control, right?
Yeah.
Understanding how these systems work empowers you to make choices that benefit you, rather than feeling like you're at their mercy.
Now, the book takes us on a fascinating journey through the different stages of life.
Okay.
And highlights how financial priorities shift along the way.
Okay.
Starting with early adulthood, which is often a time of transition.
Right.
And building a solid financial foundation.
It's that exciting time when you're fresh out of school, maybe starting your first real job, figuring out how to manage your money on your own for the first time.
Right.
It can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah. But
it's also a great opportunity to set yourself up for success.
Oh, for sure. I remember feeling both excited and terrified when I first started managing my own finances.
Totally.
It was a steep learning curve.
Yeah. But the book really stresses the importance of starting with the basics. Building an emergency fund, managing credit wisely, and even starting to think about retirement savings.
Retirement savings in your 20s.
I know. It feels so far away.
It feels like a lifetime away.
I know, but this is where the magic of compound interest really shines.
Right.
The earlier you start, even with small contributions,
okay,
the more time your money has to grow exponentially.
So we're talking long-term thinking.
Absolutely, and that's a key theme throughout the book. It's not about getting rich quick schemes. It's about building a secure financial future through consistent, informed decisions over time.
Then we move on to midlife, where things tend to get a little more complex.
Yeah.
You might be juggling a mortgage kid's college funds and your own retirement savings all at the same time.
It's definitely a juggling act.
For sure.
And the book acknowledges the challenges of balancing those competing priorities. It emphasizes maximizing retirement savings while also managing debt responsibly.
Okay.
And considering things like estate planning. which is often overlooked.
Estate planning. I thought that was just for wealthy people.
That's a common misconception.
Is it?
Estate planning is about ensuring your assets are protected and distributed according to your wishes, no matter the size of your estate.
So it's about having a plan in place for the unexpected.
Yes.
That makes sense.
And it's something that becomes even more relevant as we move into the pre-retirement and retirement stages of life.
Okay, so tell me more about those later stages. I imagine the focus shifts pretty dramatically at that point.
It does. It becomes all about reviewing those retirement plans you've been working on, managing your income sources, making sure your healthcare needs are covered, and figuring out how to create a sustainable lifestyle that you can enjoy for the long haul.
No more 9-to-5 grind.
Exactly. It's about reaping the rewards of a lifetime of smart financial decisions and enjoying those golden years without constant financial worry.
Sounds pretty ideal.
It is.
The book also touches on strategies for maximizing Social Security benefits.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people are curious about.
It's a complex system, and the book does a great job of breaking it down and highlighting potential strategies for maximizing those benefits. It's all about making informed choices that align with your individual situation and goals.
Well, that was a whirlwind tour of the financial life cycle.
It was.
We've covered budgeting, savings, debt, credit, and even touched on estate planning and retirement.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together to create a solid financial foundation.
That's the beauty of this book. I think it provides a holistic perspective on financial literacy, showing how all these concepts are interconnected and how they can empower you to take control of your financial well-being.
And it's not just about the numbers, is it? It's about understanding the systems, making informed decisions, and building a future that aligns with your values and goals.
Absolutely. It's about taking ownership of your financial journey and creating a life that you're excited about.
Now, before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I want to pause for a moment and ask you listening. What's resonating with you so far?
Yeah, what's standing out as a key takeaway?
All right, I'm feeling pretty fired up after that first segment.
Me too.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
But there's so much more to explore in the world of financial literacy.
There's so much more.
And this next section is all about putting those foundational concepts into action.
Yes.
Specifically when it comes to investing.
Okay.
It's a topic that can seem intimidating to a lot of people.
It can.
But the book does a fantastic job of breaking it down.
It does.
Of making it accessible to everyone.
I'm pumped to dive into this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Investing can seem like this black box full of jargon and complicated strategies.
Right.
But the book makes it surprisingly clear. So where do we start? What's the book's take on just the fundamentals of investing?
I think it begins by defining investment in a way that I think is really insightful.
Okay.
A strategic decision aimed at achieving specific financial goals.
Okay.
And I think that's really important because it emphasizes that investing isn't about gambling or chasing quick riches.
Right.
It's about making deliberate choices to grow your wealth over time.
So it's about being intentional and having a plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book then delves into a variety of types of investments, from the familiar stocks and bonds to real estate, and even some alternative investments like commodities
Okay.
and cryptocurrencies.
So it's a pretty comprehensive overview.
Absolutely. It covers the fundamentals of each asset class,
Okay.
explains the risks and potential rewards,
Yeah.
and really emphasizes the importance of diversifying your portfolio.
Diversification, that's spreading your investments across different asset classes to mitigate risk.
Exactly. It's like the old adage, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Right. By diversifying, you reduce the impact of any single investment performing poorly.
Right.
And create a more stable and resilient portfolio.
Makes sense.
Right.
So we've got stocks, bonds, real estate, and even those more exotic investments. What are some key things to consider when deciding where to put your money?
I think the book really emphasizes the importance of aligning your investment choices with your individual goals,
Okay.
your risk tolerance,
Uh-huh.
and your time horizon.
Yeah.
For example, a younger investor with a longer time horizon might be more comfortable with a higher risk, higher reward portfolio,
Okay.
while someone approaching retirement might prioritize capital preservation and a more stable income stream.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Definitely not.
Hmm.
It's all about finding what works for you and your unique circumstances.
The book also delves into the world of the stock market,
Yes.
which can feel pretty intimidating for beginners.
It can. I remember feeling completely lost when I first started learning about stocks.
Yeah,
It's a whole new language.
totally.
But I think the book does a great job of breaking down those stock market fundamentals. It explains how the market works, the factors that influence stock prices, and even touches on concepts like market efficiency,
Okay.
and the role of economic indicators.
It's like a crash course in stock market literacy. What are some of the key takeaways there?
I think it really emphasizes the importance of understanding a company's fundamentals before investing in its stock. Looking at their financial statements, their management team, their industry, position their growth potential. It's not just about picking a trendy company. It's about doing your research and making informed decisions.
So no more investing based on gut feeling or what your friend told you at a party.
Ideally not.
Yeah.
The book encourages a much more data-driven and strategic approach to investing.
Speaking of data, the book also warns against some common stock market mistakes that even experienced investors can fall prey to.
Yes.
What are some of those pitfalls to avoid?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is trying to time the market.
Okay.
Which involves trying to predict when prices will rise or fall and buying or selling accordingly.
Right.
And the book shows how this is incredibly difficult to do consistently,
Yeah.
and how emotional decisions often lead to losses.
So it's a reminder to stay disciplined and focus on the long-term game.
Exactly. It's about sticking to your investment strategy even when the market gets volatile.
Right.
Not getting swept up in the hype or panic of the moment.
That makes a lot of sense. Another thing that always trips me up is understanding all the different types of investment strategies.
Yeah.
The book breaks those down as well, right?
It does. It covers a range of approaches from growth investing, which focuses on companies with high growth potential, to value investing, which seeks undervalued stocks, and even income investing, which prioritizes generating a steady stream of income from investments.
It's like having a personal investment advisor right there in the book. What are some of the key considerations when choosing an investment strategy?
Again, I think the book emphasizes aligning your strategy with your goals, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon.
Okay.
It also highlights the importance of diversification and asset allocation, which involves spreading your investments across different asset classes to mitigate risk and optimize returns.
So it's not just about picking individual stocks or bonds.
Yeah.
It's about creating a balanced and diversified portfolio that's tailored to your specific needs and goals?
Precisely. It's about taking a holistic approach to investing and considering the bigger picture.
Okay, so we've talked about stocks, bonds, diversification, different investment strategies, but what about those other investment vehicles we mentioned earlier, like retirement accounts?
Retirement accounts.
Yes.
Yes.
Essential for building a secure financial future.
They are. And the book provides a great overview of the different types of accounts available, like 401ks and IRAs.
Can you give us a quick rundown of what those are? I was getting mixed up.
Sure. So a 401k is a retirement savings plan that's offered through your employer.
Okay.
While an IRA is an individual retirement account that you set up yourself.
Okay.
And both offer tax advantages, which can make a big difference in the long run.
Tax advantages. Tell me more.
All right. So with a traditional 401k or IRA, your contributions are made with pre-tax dollars.
Okay.
Meaning you don't pay taxes on that money until you withdraw it in retirement.
So it's like getting a tax break now and letting those savings grow tax deferred.
Exactly. And with a Roth 401k or Roth IRA, your contributions are made with after-tax dollars.
Okay.
But your withdrawals in retirement are tax-free.
So there are different options depending on your tax situation and your retirement goals.
Right. And the book does a great job of explaining the pros and cons of each type of account to help you determine which one is right for you.
Now, I know we talked about compound interest earlier, but I have a feeling it plays a big role in retirement savings as well.
You bet it does. The earlier you start contributing to your retirement accounts, even if it's a small amount, the more time your money has to compound and grow.
Right.
It's like giving your money a head start in the marathon of life.
Love that analogy. But what if you didn't start saving for retirement early on? Is it too late to catch up?
It's never too late to start. And I think the book highlights the importance of maximizing your contributions, especially as you get closer to retirement.
Okay.
It even mentions something called a catch-up contribution, which allows you to contribute even more to your retirement accounts once you reach age 50.
That's a great option for those who might have started saving a bit later in life.
It is. And don't forget about the power of employer matching contributions.
Oh, yeah.
If your company offers a 401k match, it's essentially free money.
Free money. Sign me up.
Make sure you're contributing enough to get that full match.
It's amazing how these small decisions can have a huge impact on your long-term financial well-being.
I agree. And I think the book emphasizes that retirement planning is a journey, not a destination.
Okay.
It's about making consistent, informed decisions over time and adjusting your strategy as needed.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of retirement accounts, the importance of starting early and maximizing those contributions, but what about Social Security? That's something a lot of people are relying on for retirement income. Does the book offer any insights there?
It does. It explains how Social Security works,
Okay.
the factors that affect your benefits, and even delves into some strategies for maximizing those payouts. One interesting point that it highlights is the potential benefits of delaying Social Security benefits, which can actually result in a larger monthly payment.
That's definitely something to consider. But retirement planning goes beyond just having enough money saved up, right? It's also about figuring out how you want to spend your time and what kind of lifestyle you envision for yourself.
Exactly. And that's where retirement lifestyle planning comes in.
Okay.
And the book encourages readers to think about their passions, their interests, their goals for retirement. It's about designing a retirement that's fulfilling and enjoyable, not just financially secure.
It's about living your best life, retired edition.
Exactly.
I love that. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this segment on investing in retirement planning. I'm feeling much more confident about navigating these areas now.
That's fantastic. And remember, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
The more you understand about investing in retirement planning, the more empowered you'll be to make informed decisions that support your long-term financial well-being.
But before we wrap up part 2, I want to hear from you listening. What are your biggest takeaways from this discussion on investing and retirement planning?
Yeah. What are you most curious to learn more about?
Okay. We've tackled budgeting and investing and even retirement planning.
We have.
Feeling like financial superheroes yet?
Almost.
Almost. Okay.
But there are a couple more power-ups I think we need to unlock before we're truly unstoppable.
Ooh, okay. I like that. What's next on the agenda?
Get ready to conquer those often dreaded topics. Taxes.
Okay.
And insurance.
Ooh, taxes and insurance.
I know.
Those are subjects that tend to make my eyes glaze over.
Right.
But I know they're important, so let's do this.
Let's do it. I think the book does a great job at demystifying these topics.
Okay.
And showing how they play a crucial role in building a secure financial future.
All right, let's start with taxes.
Okay.
Where do we even begin?
Well, I think the book lays a really solid foundation by just explaining the basics of the tax system. It breaks down the different types of taxes, federal, state, local, how they're calculated, and what they're used to fund. It's a good reminder that taxes aren't just some arbitrary burden.
Right.
They support essential services like education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
That's a really important point. It's easy to get caught up in the taxes mentality.
Totally.
But it is helpful to remember that they do contribute to the greater good.
They do.
Okay, so the book goes beyond just explaining how taxes work.
Yes.
It also delves into practical strategies for minimizing your tax liability.
Yes, it does.
Ooh, tax saving strategies. I'm all ears.
Okay, well, one key concept is income timing.
Income timing.
Okay. And it's about being strategic about when you receive income and claim deductions to reduce your overall tax burden.
So it's not just about how much you earn, it's about when you earn it.
Exactly. It's about being proactive and making informed decisions to optimize your tax situation. The book also highlights the power of tax-advantaged accounts like those retirement accounts we discussed earlier.
Right, like 401ks and IRAs.
Exactly. So not only are you saving for retirement, but you're potentially lowering your taxable income in the present.
It's a double win.
I love how you put that. It's like a bonus for being responsible and planning for the future.
Okay.
And there are other tax-advantaged accounts to consider as well, like 529 plans for education savings.
Oh, right.
Or health savings accounts, HSAs for healthcare expenses.
Okay. Can we pause for a second and define those? I know we just tossed around those terms.
Yeah.
Some listeners might not be familiar with those.
Of course. So a 529 plan is a savings plan that is specifically designed for education expenses.
Okay.
Like college tuition. The money that you contribute grows tax-deferred, and withdrawals for qualified education expenses are tax-free.
So it's a great way to save for your kids' or grandkids' education and get a tax break at the same time.
Exactly. And a health savings account, or HSA, is a savings account that can be used for healthcare expenses. Contributions are tax-deductible, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free.
That sounds like a really smart way to manage healthcare costs, especially with those ever-rising healthcare premiums these days.
It is. It's a really valuable tool for those who are eligible.
Okay.
The book also covers a strategy called tax loss harvesting.
Tax loss harvesting. Okay, break this down for me.
Okay, so imagine you have an investment that has lost value.
Right.
It's sitting there in your portfolio dragging you down.
Okay.
With tax loss harvesting, what you're doing is you're selling that investment at a loss to offset capital gains you might have realized from other investments.
Okay.
So it's like selling your old rusty bike at a loss to offset the profit you made selling your fancy new car.
I like that.
Right. So overall, you end up paying less in taxes.
Ooh, that's a clever way to use those losses to your advantage.
It is. It's a strategy that can be particularly helpful if you've had a good year in the market and you want to minimize your tax liability.
Okay, the book also mentions charitable giving and its potential tax benefits. Yeah.
It's really amazing how aligning your finances with your values can have this ripple effect.
Absolutely. Donating to qualified charities can not only make a positive impact on the world,
Yes.
but it can also potentially lower your taxable income, which is a nice bonus.
Okay, so we've covered income timing, tax-advantaged accounts, tax loss harvesting, charitable giving. Are there any other key tax-saving strategies that the book highlights?
I think one more that's really important to mention is just the power of professional advice.
Okay.
The book really emphasizes the importance of consulting with a qualified tax advisor to develop a personalized tax strategy that aligns with your specific situation and goals.
That's great advice. Taxes can be complex.
They are.
And it's always a good idea to seek expert guidance.
It's an investment in your financial well-being.
Okay, we've tackled taxes.
We did it.
Now let's move on to insurance.
Okay.
It's one of those things that we often don't think about until we actually need it.
Right.
But it can be such a crucial part of a sound financial plan. Absolutely. And I think the book does a great job of explaining the role of insurance in protecting your financial well-being.
Okay.
It's essentially about transferring risk.
Oh.
So you pay a premium to an insurance company.
Right.
And in exchange, they agree to cover potential losses that you might not be able to afford on your own.
It's like a safety net for those unexpected events that life throws our way.
Exactly. And the book kind of dives into the different types of insurance, from health and life insurance to disability and property insurance.
Yeah.
Explaining how each one works and why it's important.
Like Insurance 101.
Right. And it emphasizes that choosing the right insurance coverage is all about assessing your individual needs and circumstances.
So again, not a one-size-fits-all situation.
No, definitely not. It's about finding the right balance between protection and affordability.
Makes sense. What are some key things to consider when evaluating insurance policies?
The book recommends comparing quotes from different insurance providers, really understanding the terms and conditions of the policy, including deductibles and coverage limits, and even negotiating with insurance companies to get the best possible rates.
So it's about being an informed consumer and making sure you're getting the best value for your money.
Absolutely. And it's about having peace of mind, knowing that you and your loved ones are protected in case the unexpected happens.
Well, this deep dive into financial literacy has been an incredible journey.
It has.
We've covered so much ground, from budgeting and saving to investing, retirement planning, taxes, and insurance.
I know.
I feel like I've gained a wealth of knowledge and practical strategies that I can actually apply in my own life.
That's what it's all about. Empowering yourself with the knowledge and the tools to make informed financial decisions and build a secure and fulfilling future.
This book, Financial Literacy: What They Do Not Teach You at School, by Michael Elfella, has been such an amazing guide for this exploration. It's packed with clear explanations,
Yes.
relatable examples, and actionable advice that anyone can benefit from.
It's a must-read for anyone who wants to take control of their financial well-being.
If there's one key takeaway that I'm walking away with, it's that financial literacy isn't about being a math whiz or a stock market guru.
Right.
It's about having the awareness and the tools to make choices that align with your values and your goals.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of your financial journey and creating a life that you're excited about.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into financial literacy. I hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have.
Me too.
Remember, this is just the beginning of your financial education. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep empowering yourself to make smart choices with your money.
Huge thanks to Michael Elfella for writing such an insightful and practical guide to financial literacy.
And a huge thank you to you listening for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
Keep those brains engaged, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.